Yeah, drop it down.
Drop it down. Hello, everybody. A little lower, a little lower, a little lower. Perfect.
Nice.
Yep, that's nice.
It's nice.
Because we can look up and say hello.
All right.
They can see Josh's face.
You ever try to look up and then look down to see what you look like? You just do that all the time.
You guys can see that. Can you see that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that many times, depending on the delay that's on the video.
Yeah. When I was a little kid, I'd sit in front of a mirror for hours trying to like see my eyeballs looking the other way. Doesn't ever work.
No.
It's kind of like trying to see if the light stays on in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So nowadays, if I could look and look back and see myself looking away, I would freak out.
Yes.
That would be terribly unnatural.
Well, yeah, but if you do like in your phone, you can.
Yeah.
You can
I'm
almost
not
do
that
it.
fast.
You can almost do
Hey,
it.
let's fly RC and Keith Keller.
up?
Good to see you, Keith.
Scott.
I hear you.
Rob's off. Hello, everybody.
All right. Are we ready to hit the music?
Oh man, I'm down. I missed it last week, so I'm excited.
Oh, I know, because you were late to the pod.
I heard Jeff Poole did a good job.
I'm getting ready.
He didn't do too
Getting
bad.
the sway on.
Flight.
There it is.
Boom.
Nice.
There's a conspiracy theory that you weren't really doing that because it was so awesome. Had to be professionally done in the studio.
He is a professional.
Oh, he is.
Yes, I am a professional.
And we are in the studio.
We are in the studio. I was going to say that.
I guess the rumor's true.
What's that? What's up, Jeff Poole?
Yeah,
What's up,
Jeff,
buddy?
Jeff said, I did awesome. Yes, you did
man.
awesome. Everybody
Listen,
did awesome.
Hey,
I watched it later, and it was great.
yeah, you did
Nice.
great. Let's fly. Thanks for liking the Flirkin. The build video, and that is poor Noah. He had to work all night and even this morning to get that done. There's a lot of details in that build video.
Well,
Yes.
there's a lot of details in the build.
In the build, yeah. But the Flirkin build video is up. So if anyone's wondering, that is on the Flight Test Tech channel.
Yes.
And thank you, everyone. Between the Tudor and the Flirkin, those things have been flying. And then the P40 has been just amazing. Amazing response on all three.
Have they been flying off the shelves?
They've been flying. Actually, they've been flying out of the heat tunnel because they're literally coming out of the heat tunnel and going right into boxes.
That's awesome.
It's just great.
Flirkin' awesome.
It is flirking awesome. I mean, I think that the creative juices are flowing.
They are flowing.
And not only are they cool, I mean, they're just awesome aircraft.
Oh, they're fun. We didn't design this. We knew an Aura would work in it, but we didn't design it to make sure it flew good because of an Aura. And we just took it out with an Aura for the first time. And I think Monday you're going to be flying the one with the Aura.
Sweet.
It cruises like just that gyro taking out any wind effect. It was like butter.
So is that kind of like training wheels?
The Aura?
Yeah.
Well, if you have a windy day, it takes out the effects of the wind, makes
Okay.
it feel like a more stable, heavier airplane. And then also for beginners, absolutely.
I just want to know if
Yeah.
Stefan's going to be flying with training wheels. That's all I want to know.
He doesn't need the training wheels. We actually had Stefan. You were beta tested.
Yeah, I was messing around with Flirkin about a week or so ago. It honestly, because that polyhedral and just all the rest of the fantastic of the build, it flies like a dream. So you don't need an Aura, but if you have the Aura and it's a windy day, it makes it feel like it's on glass. I'm sure.
It was
Or on
really
training wheels.
I'm training with. But the cool thing about the Aura board is also you put it on a switch, you can flick that off right
Oh,
off
yeah,
the bat.
yeah,
So
definitely.
it's super nice.
And I'm not bashing on the Aura. I'm bashing on.
No, he's bashing on me.
I'm bashing
if anybody
on him.
is listening,
Just rip it.
Rip 'em.
let's see how many people we got here. I can't see the number.
Oh,
There's 9 people. The 9 people that are here. Yes, Lee is bashing on me.
He's
I don't
picking
think
on
that number is correct. By the
Yeah,
way.
right. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to go prove Mr.
Yeah.
Lee wrong.
Yeah, you know
That's
what?
right.
We'll give Dave the one with the Aura.
That's all we're getting.
You know where I think the Aura is going to be a rock star in the Flirkin is launch assist. So
Oh,
many
yeah.
people, because
Yeah.
you do not want to launch it from under the belly. Just give it a little toss and it'll fly right out of your hands, and that'll
Nice.
be really nice for people.
No, that's gonna be
It'll be
fantastic.
the launch assist. So
And if you haven't seen that little video that we did, I don't know even where it's either on our Facebook or on, I don't remember where it's at. Youth chucking and just looking the other way.
oh, it's TikTok.
TikTok, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if you go check out our
This is the
TikTok
spear.
and look at the spear on launches. It was oh man, it was hilarious.
That was the scariest thing because it was like prototype board, and I mean we didn't have a lot of time to build
Right.
planes. It's like, man, if this crashes, it's gonna be really sad.
Yeah, because
So,
we have to rebuild it and all
yeah,
do the
that excitement was definitely real.
yeah, it was
so,
pretty cool. So
I
definitely
like
check that
I
out.
like what Pappy said: soft flirkin, warm flirkin, deadly ball of fur.
Nice.
God.
That's mixing Marvel and Big Bang Theory together.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
love it.
So Cold Dash says that you guys never let Stefan fly in videos.
That's not true. That's not true. It's been a little bit of time since the last one, maybe, but that's also because we just, we all wear a few different hats here at Flight Test, and we've all just kind of been, man, running and gunning in the last like 6 to 8 months. I tell you what. So just sometimes there's just not enough time in the day or the week to get everybody out there flying.
It's kind of like divide and conquer.
Yes,
and,
100%.
But that being said, I'm excited because you're going to be in some more content, and I miss it. I don't like it when I go and watch Flight Test videos and doesn't show the whole family here. It bothers me because it's a tight team. We're really doing a lot of stuff and accomplishing a lot together, but we're not 30, 40, 50 people. We're 11,
7, 8, 9, yeah.
and half of them are in manufacturing crushing.
Right.
So,
Right.
Well, and as far as getting the whole family on camera, I don't want to be on camera. I'm good. I'll stand. This is as much camera as I need. I get enough people already yelling at me.
Well,
so.
Stefan, you bring a fresh, younger face, even though you're not much younger than me. How old are you?
Oh,
He's
okay. Should we guess?
Is,
I don't.
he is
Maybe
significant.
Is he significantly younger?
Yes.
I just assume everyone's my age.
Okay, let's take a guess. Lee, how old do you think I am?
I know how old you are.
Okay, Josh, how old do you
I'm
think
gonna
I am?
guess you are. Now that I said that, I think you are significantly younger. I'm gonna guess you are 33.
No.
Close.
What are you?
Close. I will be 35 in 2 months.
There it is.
I'm 34 currently, but I'll be 35 in a couple
So
months.
there's just an 8-year difference between you and
Yeah,
I.
it's not bad. I mean, that's not
Yeah.
bad. It's less than a decade. So I mean,
less than a decade. That's all.
that's all that matters.
I forgot how old I was the other day. I had to.
Did your wife tell you?
No, I had to use like my phone. I was like, "Hey Siri,
How old am I?
I found out I'm 43 years old.
Hey,
I wonder,
So-
can you do that? Will Siri tell you how old you are?
You can't go month and day. It just kind of freaks out on you. You
Uh.
gotta be like, how old am I if I was born in this? And
How old am I?
this is really cutting edge podcast stuff. Right
I
now.
don't know your age.
Sorry, guys.
that's
This is
okay.
who
No,
we
that
are.
that's good.
Yeah.
If she doesn't know your age automatically, then
We
we're
don't want
good.
that. But
That's right.
no, man, the Flurkin release was awesome. I loved
Yep.
every bit of it. It's really exciting. And then we have we're not doing the Flurkin this week, but we're coming back to the Flurkin with the Meglacy
Yes,
combined,
following
and
week.
we're shooting that Monday.
Monday or Tuesday,
Yeah,
depending on the
and,
weather and all that jazz.
Dave's release mechanism for the Flurkin is awesome.
Mhm.
It is absolutely incredible. It's elegant. It's simple. It's 3D printed.
It almost looks as if it belongs there.
It's going to stay on there.
Yeah.
It's going to stay on there. I mean, now we have we kind of picture that plane being a versatile, workhorse.
Yep.
We're putting that to the test really quickly.
Yeah, it's great.
So
It's gonna be sweet.
cool. Just starting the Flurkin tonight. So, hey, friends,
Great.
do me a favor. If you bought a Flurkin
Mm.
and you build it, please post it. And any questions and stuff that you have, let us know. I'm just thrilled. So many people, are excited about that airplane. I just picture
yeah.
Edgewater being filled with them. We should do a Flurkin race at Flight Fest too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Ouch. Speaking
man.
of
Man.
speaking of
Okay.
Flight Fest, we got people already asking about Flight Fest in Texas. No, we're not going to have Flight Fest in Texas.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
not-
and it's
not-
not that we
not
don't
this
want
time
to.
around.
It's just we're not going to be able to have a time this year.
Yeah, because we
So-
have ours in Ohio, and then we have a
In-
Midwest, right?
Well, here that's the
Or is
thing.
that
I mean,
not a thing?
well, we've talked about that. I mean, we've talked about doing something out in the Midwest, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. The Midwest Flight Fest is not going to happen,
Okay.
but what looks like is going to happen is we're going to put a lot of our attention towards Oshkosh.
AirVenture.
Air
okay.
Venture, yeah.
So next year will be obviously Flight Fest a couple weeks early, right?
Yeah, it's going to be the 23rd through the 26th of June.
Yeah.
June, yes,
Yeah.
not July. Remember,
June.
June. Everybody that's listening.
Dude, you got your crazy eyebrow.
Yeah, I got it. Curls underneath. Yeah.
No, it's like curled down right in your face. There, you got it.
Sweet. Thanks, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, I need to go get just a full face scenario done.
Oh,
from
now
those,
it's going
like,
back down. It's going. Look at it. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
you guys can't see
Sorry,
it.
guys.
Yeah,
to
but
go back to the task at hand. First of all, Jeff Poole. No, not a January baby. I am born in February. Just
There we go.
little note. Yeah. So Oshkosh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so June we got Flight Fest. July, end of July, going into August is usually Oshkosh, right?
end of
yeah.
July. Yeah.
So that'll give us a good opportunity to really prepare. And I think our goal is going to be a meetup / if we can pull this off and make everything happen, meetup / build tent flying area.
Yes, sir.
Just try to bring a lot of people, because a lot of people that come to Flight Fest, they have conflicts or resources or timing issues with going to AirVenture, and they'd want to do both. This will be a good opportunity to not only do Flight Fest kind of and stuff, but also introduce people to general aviation and STEM and all that other good stuff.
Well, and that's, you just hit it, STEM. So one of the things that we don't want to take away from is the meetup aspect of it, but we want to get more people into the flight test ecosystem, into our community in what we're doing. And we really need those who are on the out. And I know this sounds terrible. This is why I don't fit into flight test, maybe, because we need those that don't know about us yet to know about what's going on, so they can participate in this. So we do need to not only have a flight fest for everyone who does, all of our community, but we need to be involved in something that's outside of the community to draw people inside the community.
So I think it'd be safe to say if Flight Fest is like our family reunion, Oshkosh is our goal, is to kind of be our outreach arm, where we want to kind of reach out. And also with the STEM aspect, I mean, you guys are going to get sick of me hearing it, but it's so near and dear to our hearts for many, many years. But we really want to see aviation programs go into schools. And from that, we're going to be talking about FTCA. All this works together. And it's a pretty monumental task, because we're not just trying to protect the hobby aspect currently, but we're trying to rapidly grow the hobby, and then also get the hobby in flight into areas that typically where it's not there.
Right.
And that helps reinforce the validity and the importance of the hobby too. So it feeds itself again. So,
well, and part about promoting the hobby for the future is going to be that that introduction to the next generation, an introduction to areas like you're saying that don't have don't have access.
I'm going to say something kind of provocative, but I think what our community, what Flight Test and our community around Flight Test has just been absolutely incredible doing, is getting people into the hobby.
Oh yeah,
that is. If I was going to say what is our strengths, it's in our people, and it's in our activities that we do to make this hobby approachable, simple, affordable. And we want to continue working within our strengths, and also giving people the tools to do the same. And Oshkosh, I think, will be a really good opportunity to do that.
Right.
So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. And Oshkosh is one of those experiences that like you only get at Oshkosh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the people that are going there, not only are you interested in aviation, but also you're looking to be part of something bigger than yourself. Anyways, so it's just a great place to give them another level of community that they're not going to get maybe in general aviation, but they can get in the RC world.
100%. Jackson Cole just had a question here I can answer. What do you guys recommend for power pack wise for a 6-foot B29? If it's 6-foot B29, boy, scale props you're only probably needing, because I think B29 is I'm so embarrassed. I think it's 4 motors or 6. 4 motors. 4 motors.
The
Yeah.
B29.
Yeah,
That's a
Super
Fortress.
Super Fortress.
Yeah, it's 4.
You could probably get away with, frankly, 4 F motors would probably be just fine. But I wouldn't do bigger than 4 Bs. If you go to 8-foot 4 Bs, would be pretty awesome. So there you go.
There it is.
There you go,
Question
Jackson.
answered. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to put them in, and we'll answer them if we can. And if we don't answer your questions, it's not because we don't like you or don't think that you're significant.
We love you.
That was another thing that I was accused of, so it wasn't worth these time. Anyways,
I guess one thing that is really difficult is kind of communicating every aspect. We are a really small team here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the smallest we've been in years. But we're a great team.
We're scrappy.
And during this time, we've only added to what Flight Test is about and what Flight Test does. And it's hard to do everything 110%, but we are given 100% to do that.
Yeah.
So with FTCA, with STEM, with everything, it's our passion, it's our heart. And we know we want to make things happen quickly. We want to make things happen to the fullest. I have not had so much benefit of being able to freely design. Like, if you guys like the Tudor and the Flurkin, the gentleman to my left here was a person that got a lot of the stuff out of my way so I could really concentrate in it. Gentleman to my right was my cheerleader. Actually, I guess the video is probably going backwards, but sorry, guys.
No, sorry.
Stefan and Lee have been so instrumental in being able to get me to be able to focus on designing and creating airplanes and really hunker down on things I've been blessed with. But we can't do everything to the fullest, so please give us a little bit of grace.
Yeah,
we're not gonna peter out here. We're going to keep working, but not everything is going to be 100% perfect to every standard. And I have no problem unpacking at any time. And I think you have some pretty good solutions.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of things that are in the pipeline, and we even want to talk about some of them with the FTCA and everything today. And you're getting razzed on about
The doublers.
Yeah. So that's Richard Joy. I remember. So hey, Richard, if you didn't watch last week's podcast, you were talked about because we couldn't remember your name. And thanks for
saving the bacon, bud.
Yes, you saved the day.
So I'm really terrified now because I want to do a Flurkin build. But there's so many more opportunities to screw things up.
Hey, but Richard will be there.
Yeah,
so
Richard, we need to get Richard a kit
so that way on speed dial.
Richard, what do I do next?
Sorry, ignore that call. I just called you.
Oh, did you? Oh, perfect.
Yeah, my wife is blowing up my phone, so I
apologize.
I know.
She loves you the most.
Yeah. So, but as far as I am in a podcast.
Boom.
Love you.
Just so you know, family is most important
Yes.
here at Flight Test, obviously both within and on the outskirts, outside of this building. So that's why we text our wives back during a podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, even the missus.
Yeah, she popped in the other day.
Pop in, yeah.
And I know I'm going to be in about 35 minutes. I'm going to be watching my son go wrestle.
Yeah. So hey, speaking of that, I'm gonna, not that you have to, tell me now, but can I borrow a couple bucks because Moose forgot money and I'll just pay you back.
We can get her. Don't worry.
Okay. So,
by the way, that you have to tell me now.
No, you don't
because we're on a podcast.
Right.
So, but by the way, if you ever hear like Moose this, Moose that, that is Lee's youngest daughter.
Yes.
And she goes by Moose. Her real name is Michaela.
Moose Kayla.
So,
hey, Stephen Rosema. Great question. He said, "Hey guys, there's a lot of talk on Facebook and the forums about why should you join the FTCA and what the FTCA is currently doing for the hobby." So let's reverse engineer or not. Yes, answer that in reverse. So the first thing is, what are we doing currently for the hobby? Advocating for the hobby, a lot of meetings and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff done behind the scenes that no one really sees or anything. Doing as much as we can with what we've got because the FAA hasn't released anything.
Yeah. And get frustrated about that. Every week, literally every week, there's an hour-plus meeting on the DAC where I'm what they call a subject matter expert, SME. Nice. And we get to speak all about basically educational. The task group I'm on is Task Group 12, and I work with a lot of other really good people. And it's all about the importance of basically using model aviation in schools to help fill future jobs that are going to be needed. And that's where I think in previous podcasts we talked about 64,000+ jobs are going to be needed. Yeah. And it's actually going to be much, much north of that as they're digging deeper and everything. So every week we're going along. Well, there's this DAC is basically forming up a system to deliver to the FAA saying, this is important, here's a solution, and it can be done through model aviation. It's a really, really great way to take people that dismiss this amazing hobby and say, oh, it's just a bunch of guys flying toy airplanes. Well, no, it's not. No, it's what actually brings on future engineers. It's what brings on people that have a passion for mechanical and aeronautical, aka A&P mechanics.
Right.
It's obviously pilots. It's drone pilots. It's so many different things, and I'm really, really honored and happy to be on this. It's constructive. It's making a good impact. Yeah. That's every week. Wednesday from usually morning till about noon is all dedicated towards that. It's pretty awesome. And then on top of that, there's I think they call it Droning On, and it's a group of different influencers I get through, and that one frustrates me. Yeah, it's charged with more political stuff than I like to see versus executable good stuff. But we're still going to make sure we have a presence there, and we're still going to work our butts off.
Well, and a good way to think about it, the way in which I'm picturing it, to explain, is that the cook's in the kitchen, preparing everything. You don't see the cook in the kitchen preparing everything and what's going on, what's not, and as the meal's being cooked. But what you do see is what comes out. And I know maybe that's not the best analogy, but that's a good analogy right now. There's a lot of stuff going on in the kitchen that hasn't been served yet because it's just not ready to be served.
I wish I could go behind the curtain and find out the whys.
Right.
When Section 349 came out, that was nothing good. It had all the mandates from Congress about remote ID, CBOs, which is a community-based organization, safety guidelines, establishing flying sites. All those things had timelines, and the FAA is, 4 years late now? I think it was 2018. Boy, I'm going to mess up the years.
Well, whatever. It doesn't matter if it's 4 years or 4 months.
Yeah, they have just blown it. But on top of that, they're coming out with all this in the wrong order that was originally mandated to them.
Right.
So the CBO aspect and the FRIA aspect, we put a lot of heart and soul because we know that our community is out there flying in their backyards, flying at parks, flying at places. We wanted to make sure we were locked and ready to go as quickly as possible with safety guidelines. So our community, the people that had to, abide by this stuff, they had a mechanism to be able to do it legally.
Right.
And of course, everyone can choose whether they want to comply or not. We have the freedom to do that, but schools don't. Universities don't. Church basements may not not be able to. So we got to find a navigate to find a way to make it manageable. But with that being said, they are ridiculously silent. And my guess is between New Year's and Christmas, historically, they always drop a bomb.
Right.
It's happened the last 2 years. My guess is it's going to be that way. But all we can do is work, prep, advocate, and then wait, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of the pieces, if not the majority of if not all the pieces, already in place when they do decide what exactly a CBO is. We can pull the levers. We can be compliant. We're not going to have any trouble with that. So that we will be on the front lines with becoming some of the first FRIAs in the nation. So
I think Fred's going to be the first FRIA.
Yeah,
the first FRIA for FTCA, I should say.
Yeah, Fred's right there. He's going to be a model for
he will be
for others. But I think that there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes, and I, Stephen, I appreciate the question, and because not everybody sees what the cook's doing in the kitchen, but maybe it's like you say, give us a little grace and trust us that there is a lot going on. Now, as far as the first part of your question about why should someone join the FTCA, I actually read a little bit on that today, and somebody said, well, it's just a name and they're just wanting to take your money, and at this point it's a name. Yeah, it is a name, but there's a lot of people behind that name, a lot of years of blood, sweat, and tears, and you cannot put a price tag on a community like ours. You cannot put a community like ours in a box. And for someone to say that it's just a name, it's way more than a name. Why should you join it? It's because we're a movement.
Yeah.
And it's taking the years that have been spent, and obviously prior to me, but years that have been spent with people who have really, They've sacrificed a lot for the hobby.
Yeah.
I know one of them sitting right here beside me, but it's more than that.
Oh man, and you nailed it. Movement is the exact right term for this. Back and people probably heard me say this before. I know, Stefan, you have. Flight Test started off as a YouTube channel in a garage. We did videos, we did reviews of Hobby King products and stuff. We got a fan base of people on YouTube. And then later on, we started designing kits and stuff. And we recognized there's still hurdles that people had to get in the hobby. So we started making aircraft and models that people could build easy and crash and have fun. And that was a lot of the ministry that existed well before even Flight Test. Used to be a ministry called Fly for Him. And then fast forward, well, that's when the movement became a community with the forums and the articles and people now sharing their knowledge. Then we started having flight fests. And I think that's about the time when we went from a fan base to a community to a family.
Yeah.
And that's when people helped each other. That's when people went to build tents and made memories and stuff. Then the STEM came and it reinforced that. And the kids were going into schools and kids were taking that hobby home, and then parents were getting involved and then circling back to this amazing community on the internet. At this point, the next step is a movement. And that is where people use this amazing activity of flight to impact people in a positive way. It could be through education. It could be through relationship building. It could be through ministry. It could be through encouragement and just wanting to connect with people. The amazing thing about this hobby is when you connect with someone through a common activity, whether it's planes, RC cars, golf, you name it, camping. You build a bond, you build a relationship. That relationship is more impactful to influence people, to bless people, to encourage people than debating, than going on Facebook and being a keyboard warrior, or God forbid I say that just call people that they're just a name and they're just out there to extort money and stuff like that.
Right.
That doesn't take a lot of courage or a lot of energy to be able to push down what people are working so hard. What we're doing in flight test has taken 12 plus years. It's changed so many lives. You guys have changed so many lives.
Yeah.
And to say that the FTCA is nothing more than money grab, how dare you?
Yeah.
Because we bleed for this, and we are 11 people strong. We're not a big conglomeration that has 50 plus employees that has to make sure they burn their money at the end of the month and watches the numbers. We count people that we impact. We don't count numbers.
Yeah.
So that just breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think that one thing that at least if you're looking at it from a very practical standpoint, right? Strictly, if you look at it from what the FAA is currently trying to do and currently doing, is that like flight test on its own, we can't do anything else. Like personally, once the CBO stuff gets recognized, flight test itself would not be able to build FRIAs. It would not be able to make A, B, and C happen, because the only way you're allowed to do that, essentially, currently, that the plan would be, is through a CBO. And so that 501c3, the FTCA, Flight Test Community Association, is the arm to be able to advocate for not only the flight test community, right, that we've built over the last 10, 11, 12 years, but also just the community of aviation enthusiasts from age 5 all the way to 95, right? We can't do it without the FTCA. So is it a name? Yeah. Is it a program? Yeah. Is it a part of our arm of our own company here at Flight Test? 100%. Yeah. And that's what it's going to be there to be served. And then also on top of that, we're gonna use it to better everybody within the flight test community. So just how it is.
And you said it beautifully, Stephanie. A YouTube channel cannot be the advocacy arm, and it cannot support what unfortunately Section 349 brought down with the whole CBO requirements. In order to be a CBO, first 501c3, you have to have a set of safety guidelines. You have to have a headquarters that people can visit. You have to have an educational program, and you have to have events. I think I named all 5 of them.
Yep.
That's not easy.
No,
that's not easy to do.
And that's FTCA. That's what that's going to be. And also, why join the FTCA? Obviously, there's multiple reasons, but outside of the things that you might think about every day, is that like we need our community, the flight test community, to come on board through the FTCA and be recognized through that, because that's what the FAA and the FRIAs and all that that's what's going to change and enact all those, laws and scenarios that need to be adhered to. That specific part of the community, the FTCA community, is what's going to be able to give us leverage to continue to push and drive and make things the way we want them to be. Right?
And leverage it and influence, man, it's incredible because we're not just coming at this like we got to protect what we have. We're coming out with from total opposite end is like we got to grow what we have.
Right.
And that means we're bringing solutions, not defense.
And because we don't want to maintain. I mean, if you're in battle and you're just maintaining the line, you're not making that advance. You're losing, right?
If you're not going forward, you're going backwards.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we want to be able to do that, and I think that the main thing to keep in mind is we're more than just an organization with a guy sitting around a table. Like the structure in which we're bringing together is trying to take. Is 2 million, whatever, 800,000, whatever the number is in the United States, and just form a structure so that we can be unified and we can all work together for the same purpose. So when people are in our hobby and they're lobbing grenades at the FTCA, but they're saying, "Oh, I love the hobby." Well, I don't think you can have your cake and eat it too, because we're advocates for the hobby. If you don't want to be a part of what we're doing, that's totally fine. Everybody can have that choice. But why? What do you gain from trying to just bring down what somebody is trying to accomplish for the good of everybody else?
Right. And unfortunately, there's not much we can show for it other than the fact that we're working every day, we're fighting hard, we're
Yeah.
communicating. As far as what our hope is,
Mhm.
we've said it before, we can unpack that again, is we want to create programs and activities that our community can do. They congregate together, they form a group, not a
Mhm.
club. Clubs
group.
are pretty destructive if they're not run right. But a group of people, no different than what started in Chad's basement, can come together. They can build together. They can fly. They can laugh. And then what they can do is they can turn outward and say, "Let's go ahead and teach other people to fly." We want to give our community those resources so they're empowered. It's not just watching people on YouTube build and fly and crash airplanes and laugh. It's giving them a model that they can do the exact same thing, and they can be that person for people locally.
Right.
And that's teaching people how to fly. We want to create videos and resources that people have. How do you teach people how to fly? How do you build? How do you do it safely? All these things are not going to only be given also to the FTCA. You can be an AMA club and you can be an FTCA group. We're not like, okay,
Right.
let's go ahead and make our little club and let's have their little club and let's do battle and see who wins. No, if you love flight, we love you.
Yeah.
We want to give you resources that can help you give people that opportunity to get into the hobby as well too.
Yep.
And I don't care whether you're AMA, I don't care whether you're FPV Freedom Coalition, I don't care if you're multi-GP. If we can help those people get one step further in the hobby, it's there for you. But we got to do it under a banner of something, and that is the FTCA.
Yep.
Right.
Well put. Well said.
So, yeah, pretty cool stuff.
And we've got a lot more stuff coming.
Yeah. And I think what brought out a lot of the ugly, and this breaks my heart, and this is kind of my fault too, was around the perks.
Oh my goodness.
And
yeah.
Every time we release a new airplane, it's the same people too. They ask the same question, and they'll stir the pot again. And it's, well, where's the free plans? Well, you can go ahead and join the FTCA. Oh, they're just about the money. Oh my golly.
Yeah. So, and we're working on that.
Yeah, we are.
We're and I don't know exactly how it all is going to work out, but there are a lot of members out there that have had some good ideas,
really good ideas. And I think you have some ideas on how to bring those members together.
Yeah, I think so. I think that well, one of the things, two things. One involves the plans, the other doesn't. I think that one of the things that we need within the FTCA that we are kicking around here, so you guys are the first to hear this. You can be, on the cutting edge. We want to form an advisory board that made up of the FTCA members. So me being the director of the FTCA, I'm paid to do this. Josh is the president of the FTCA. We have I don't want to say vested interest, but we're on the executive board, whatever you want to call that. But I really think that we need an advisory board, the guys and gals that are in the trenches, that are seeing things that can help us in areas to make decisions in which we need to make that. Because at the end of the day, we want to be a community. We don't want to be anything other. So instead of working from the top down, because from the top down, basically, we're going to focus on what the government says we have to do. But if we work from the bottom up, meaning that all the people and everything, they have a better understanding of the practicalities, how things can be implemented. So, because we can sit in our up here at HQ and we're like, okay, we can try to make all the right decisions for the masses, but then we're like, we might not make all the right decisions.
And it makes total sense. The way the flight test got to where it was exactly what you described.
Yeah.
So there should be no different from the FTCA. And man, you hear us think common names: Fred Provost, Dan Sponholz. There's so many. Mike Finley. There's a lot.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people from different walks of life, different brackets of life that speak a lot of influence, and we listen. That's one thing that's really cool about flight tests is we're engaged. We're looking at the comments, we're engaging as much as we can, and that's what's got us to darn near 2 million probably any day now.
Any day.
Tomorrow or Saturday, probably.
That'd be awesome.
So
that's one thing to that we're looking into, and another thing is involving the plans. The plans, if we could burn all of the plans right now, it would be awesome. Well, no, I didn't mean it that way. Everything, but everything that involves those stinking planes. I love them. I love the planes. I love the planes. But it's just like it's a hot button issue. So we are kicking around some of the ideas in which have been presented of having plans that can be purchased. So if you don't want to be an FTCA member, fine. We don't want to force people to be FTCA members. If you've missed plans from the past, if you're not an FTCA member and you haven't got them, if you want to buy those, we're gonna figure out how to do that to make those available. Really, there's only three plans. Four plans out right now that aren't free.
People really want them, apparently.
I guess.
Three plans that are not available to everybody that were put out as perks.
Yeah.
Well, also, and you got from that side of things with the plans being able to be purchased or whatever, you've got people all over the world that they want a speed build kit, but it's going to cost them $130 to get their speed build kit because they're in Asia or in Australia or wherever they might be.
Especially Australia now.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're suffering from the idiots that were making money off.
Right. So it's just like one of those things is that we want to have the ability for them to be able to fly test airplanes and build them and cut them out and do everything that they want to do in the hobby and get further into the hobby. And so this would give them the opportunity to take those plans, purchase those plans, and then enjoy all the plans and planes that you'd ever want and need from within their own country, which is also really cool.
No, 100%, 100%. This is never the goal. This is never the thought that we had from the beginning. It's really sad that it's brought us to this place. But man, I want to find a solution that just keeps us from getting back in the weeds of the ugly every single time.
Yeah.
That I think it was the second podcast we did really helped. And thank you to all the community members. When people asked, they got them to the podcast.
Yeah.
I can't neglect the fact that, the past 2 years, there's been a lot of ugly in this world. And I think that people are just a little tired, a little beaten down. And sometimes that ugly comes out.
It does.
I wish there was a way that we could just give you a hug and love on you and let you know this is not who we are. And sometimes it's easier just to think negative or think angry than it is to say, no, this is behind the scenes. There's probably some really good stuff going on.
Well, and I don't think that anybody, maybe the angry comes out of us sometimes too, just because it's like, oh my goodness gracious, the plans again. And I know that, our moderators, God bless them. Our moderators are awesome because they deal with that stuff all the stinking time. But it's kind of that let's just, can we move past that? And if we can come up with a solution to be able to move past that, then, fantastic. So, with that, we do have a lot of things coming up. It is the end of the year, and we are slammed with the store and everything. So there's not a lot of big changes we're making yet. But after the first of the year, there's going to be some things that are going to come out, and we'll do what we can.
And please, if you guys have ideas and solutions, Lee, I know. Every morning. Did you see that? Yeah, we saw that. We talk about it and stuff. Don't keep them to yourself. We like solutions. We recognize the fact that there's just an amazing amount of talent and wisdom in our community, and we are open. The door's open to that. So
and the best way to go about getting that to us, so it's presented in the proper
channels.
Well, I'm going to say proper channels, but I actually want to say received with the best spirit, because if somebody just gets on Facebook or the forums and just starts blasting stuff, it should be this way and it should be that way, it's not going to be taken as a suggestion. It's going to be taken that you're just on a soapbox and, all right, let's go past this and look at somebody.
It's not productive.
It's not productive. So you could either, email us directly or
support at flighttest.com.
That's the best way. Because that all, and it categorizes too. Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you do it that way, that's going to be the best. We will listen to you.
Yeah.
If there is anybody in the face of this earth that cares about your hobby and the future of it, it's this guy right here. And this guy right here, he's the kind and gentle Josh Bixler. But when he's passionate about something,
I'm laughing at you for that. I just think you guys see me my ugliest points.
I know.
Listen, when he's on a call with some FAA people or just influential people, and he needs to get his point across, he does it in multiple ways. Sometimes it's the cuddly Josh, and sometimes it's like, listen, you guys are missing the mark. You gotta listen to me.
Yes.
And it works both ways.
I use my Jeep voice, right?
Yeah, his Jeep voice.
My Jeep is really loud. It's like, so you got to yell on it. So, yeah. No, I love you guys. Thank you for that. And I know that it's not just me, and it's this team here, but it's also this community, and that's where it's so important to recognize the fact that we are a movement. We are a movement of people using this hobby to impact people in a positive way, and that's not going to change with legislation or legalities. What we just want to do is make sure that we minimize or defeat or overcome whenever we can.
No, and please never ever think that we don't have your best interest in mind, and we're here to fight.
Dave Chester.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
I saw that.
We had a guy say that he wants a fighter, and man, I took personal offense. Like he's like, I don't want somebody in that's leading the FTCA not to fight.
Dude, you're a Marine.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fighter.
The fact that someone wouldn't think that you're not a fighter, doesn't know.
It's all good.
Well, hey, speaking of Marines, let's get into some questions because we don't have a whole lot of time now that you have you got a jet here in a few minutes. And I'm partial to Al here. Al USMC, Semper Fi Double Dog. It says, any chance you guys revisiting the FT Goblin by adding the FT Aura Light? Now, before you answer that, I just want to throw a quick little jab in here. Hey, brother, Devil Dog, scrap the Goblin and go to the Flurkin. Your life will be all. It'll be like after you got out of boot camp, and I mean, and you pinned on the Eagle Globe and Anchor, and you felt proud. You will feel proud from going from the Goblin. Not that it's bad.
Flurkin proud.
You be flirking.
We got to be careful because the word flirkin sounds like an expletive too. We're not saying it for the expletive.
No. Yes, we got to be. This is family friendly.
I love it.
Yeah, but I mean, throw an aura. We're putting an aura. You just said at the beginning, we're putting an aura in the flirkin.
And the Goblin flies just fine with the aura. Just change your rotation 180 degrees, drop it in, do the Elevon mixing. No tune needed. We've already done the Goblin with the aura in it, and it is great. But yeah, I'm partial towards the flirkin too. It is it's my go-to now. I love it. Flirkin awesome. Dude, I love Dave Chester. Josh is like a flirkin.
Yes.
I do have a bold side, I guess.
Now, what kind of flirkin is it? Is it the flirkin that's in my office, Dave, the flirkin in my office?
Busted.
Yeah, I should take it.
Flirkin.
It's in two pieces.
At least two pieces. There might be other pieces that flew away with the wind.
I cannot wait to see these things racing through the air.
I know.
I'm sure people can get them up to 100 mile an hour, but they fly so good in a compact area that the budget B is probably 55, 60. And that's just the perfect speed for me. I can shoot gaps. I can hit things with it. I can, you got the control and the speed to feel fast, but not too fast where it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, I have an astigmatism, right? And my contacts are supposed to work well for that, which I don't think they do anymore.
And
but anyways.
What?
Astigmatism.
Astigmatism? Or is it stigmatism?
It's astigmatism.
Astigmatism.
From what I understand, yeah.
Oh.
Anyways,
what's that mean?
It's where my eyes take longer to focus when something's moving, right? So here's that.
Don't get in a fight then because you ain't gonna be able to see that cross coming around.
I can't sit close in a movie theater. Like I have to sit in the middle or further back because I can't track quick enough. It's just blurry.
Yeah. Oh,
so anyways,
is that what you told your date?
Don't you worry about it. Listen, I got ways. So anyways, but so at 50, 60. Like if it's faster than that and it's like vroom, and I'm flying it, then I'm going to have issues. So I got to keep it below the 70, 60 mile an hour scenario because I wouldn't be able to track it. So
yeah. Well, and it is getting cold outside and Dave doesn't want to have to get another one out of the tree.
Yes. Yeah. We don't want that. We don't want that. Got him.
Yes.
Oh man. X, I don't know what you're saying in regards to like the amount of people here being indicative of how many people want to stand up for their freedoms. No. The FTCA channel is very small compared to our main channel, but when we put out the emails, the conversion, the activity that spurs on is just heartwarming. So, no, we got the best community in the world. We love them, and they are proud and they're active.
Yeah,
good stuff. Well, this is a good unpacking here.
Yeah. How much?
Guys,
so I'm looking at this. So Flight Test got me into the hobby successfully 4 years ago. How much is that worth? Drop the mic. Boom. How much?
Dude, I had a gentleman come in here, and then yesterday, grandparents came in getting a present, and I knew them through my father. Back when we flew at the airport, and we were talking airplanes and stuff, and they're picking out a plane, but hearing their love for their kid, and then how they do this hobby together, and realizing that there is a 14-year-old child and there is an 80-year-old grandparents, both grandma and grandpa, actively participating in building together. That is exactly what you just want to bottle up and just hit the repeat button on over and over and over again.
And you're, as you're saying this, so old Al USMC, the guy that made the right decision, he said, we'll switch to it. We'll get one for the kid and I. FT saved me in a sense with the kid and I.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys for all you do. I mean, I get what he's saying there, because I know that we've heard that multiple times in that same essence of what you just said, that families come together over these crazy foam board airplanes.
And you see it at Flight Fest, it's not done through, we met the flight test guys and life is better. It is done in those build tents. It is done when one family invests in another family and helps them get over a hurdle. It's done through the volunteers. It is heartwarming. If you go to the main FTCA website, and there's a section for testimonials, I think we call them flight testimonials. Read through that. And it's also searchable. So if you type in military, if you type in a state, it'll pull all that stuff. It's really amazing. Robert did a great job with that. Read those stories.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it'll put tears. We had a wall in North Canton, and I had to take all those pictures down. Remember that?
Yeah, it was a fire hazard.
It was a total fire.
I
mean, that would have killed us all. But people sent in, and please continue to do that. I'd prefer, if you guys are okay with sharing it through the flight testimonies, that'd be awesome, because it blesses everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
But those things, we read them, and it brings us to tears, and it's just incredible.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Indeed.
Right.
People are cool.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Borg.
Everybody is, I mean, I think it feels like we're just getting our motor started, but revved up. But I know you got to roll, and we'll just pick this up next week.
We will.
Yes.
Friends, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for letting us be part of what we are part of. I don't know how to say it any better than that. This is everything with Flight Test, everything with why we do what we do is so much bigger than us individually, and even as a group of people. But something really special is going on, and it's changing lives along the way, and you guys have a piece of that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you next time.
Yes. I got one last word of wisdom.
Hey, gummit. I knew it was coming. Yes.
It's coming. I have to.
Take us out, Stefan.
I know.
Think about this season specifically, but also just in your circle of influence. Don't always think about how you get influenced through people. Think about how you influence others by the way you act, by the way you speak, and just by like living your life. Because more often than not, there's people watching you just like you're watching other people. So, especially your kids. So enjoy that part of your life, and enjoy making sure that you're impacting people in a positive way. And also, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I mean, we got a couple more before that, but it's always good. So thanks, guys. We love you guys.
Love you guys.